Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides, and I'm here with some exciting news that maybe some of you have heard already, maybe some of you have not. Dodge is going to be resurrecting the Viper. I'm pretty excited about that because I've been a huge Viper fan ever since I first saw one in a magazine going all the way back to 1989. Um, but there's some things that are going to be a little different, and I want to talk about those things, and I definitely am curious how people are going to accept it once you hear what I have to say. But, anyways, if you don't know much about the Dodge Viper, like I said, it was unveiled to the public back in 1989 at the North American Auto Show. And I remember I was 13 years old. I can't believe it. 1989. That's a long time ago. Viper's been around for a while. I can't even believe it. But anyways, 13-year-old kid, I see that thing in a magazine and I instantly fell in love. I was raised, my dad lusts after the Ford 427 Cobras, really got me excited about those cars growing up, even though I wasn't alive when they were first sold. And for me, it was my time to really go after a car like a Dodge Viper, to lust after that car because it had that bare bones that the original 427 Cobras had. When they first sold that car back in 1992, so it was unveiled in 89, first model year was 92, had that big, huge V10, had nothing inside of it except what you needed: steering wheel, shifter, the three pedals, all that great stuff. No roof. It came with a canvas top. So if you want to put a roof on, canvas top, plastic windows, no roll-up windows or power windows, no door locks, none of that. No outside door handles because, like I said, it didn't come with any of that. That was pretty mind-blowing that a car like that would be sold, especially even in the year 1992. Um, you know, as the car progressed in 1996, they came out with the Dodge Viper GTS Coupe. That for me did it. That will always be one of the sexiest shapes on a car. I mean, me being a racing fan, especially I like my history when it comes to racing, especially sports car endurance racing. It looked just like Carroll Shelby's Daytona coupes, those Ford Daytona coupes that Peter Brock designed, that won many, many races internationally across the United States. And what's funny is the Dodge Viper would do the same exact thing. And another thing that some people didn't like was that the exhaust came out the back, whereas the early ones they came out the side. But for me, I really didn't care. The side pipes were cool, but I think it actually sounded better with the exhaust coming out the back. And there's nothing like a V10, especially a pushrod V10. Now, you could go get a Lamborghini Huracan, you could go get an Audi R8. They have V10s, totally different feeling, sounding, performing, whatever. But 96 was a great year. Now, I don't know if you're aware or not, but believe it or not, the Dodge Viper was killed off once before. It was killed off in 2010, and it was gone for 2 years. But when Dodge brought it back in 2012, it still had 10 cylinders, still was a V10. It slowly started getting more amenities inside and safety equipment, but even up to its demise in 2010, there wasn't a lot of technology when it comes to safety equipment on the car. It was still that bare bones thing, and Dodge knows that it had to be careful because the Dodge Viper enthusiasts wanted it to remain bare bones. They wanted it to be the ultimate driver's car where the driver really had to know what they were doing. But then when they came back out with it in 2012, they slowly started to integrate more technology into it. And then in this final year in 2017, it had a lot of nice amenities. I mean, you could get Napa leather and all the infotainment goodies, and it even came with a Wi-Fi hotspot. So it changed, but still had that same essence of what a Dodge Viper is known for. V10, they brought back the side pipes, top performer. I mean, talk about performer. I remember when they were racing those Dodge GTS coupes in the United States in the year 2000, it actually won the 24 Hours of Daytona. I'm not talking about in its class. I'm talking about the whole entire race. It won in front of the prototypes. Now, if you are into endurance racing, one thing you would know is that during this time, when they were racing at Le Mans and in the FIA GT series, they actually didn't run as Dodge Vipers. They ran as Chrysler Vipers because guess what? In Europe, they didn't sell Dodge products. So they ran them as Chrysler, which Chrysler was available in Europe at the time. So that's a little fun fact. Now, at its demise, the Dodge Viper 8.4 liter V10, 649 horsepower. So great amount of horsepower, great amount of torque. Obviously, we've gone into this now, this big horsepower game where we have the Dodge Demon, 840 horsepower. We have the Corvette ZR1, 755 horsepower. At the end of the day, I think horsepower just becomes a number. Yeah, they're hot performance. Yeah, they're very fast. But for the Dodge Viper, it may have not been the fastest thing, but it still was pretty damn fast. But it had a personality and a character all to its own. Now, I'll admit I was bummed out when they axed off the Viper. I felt like Dodge dedicated too much of its resources and time to its Challenger lineup, with all of its crazy models from the Demon to the TA to the Hellcat to the Scat Pack, whatever. Lots of stuff was going towards that, and they kind of, I felt, left the Dodge Viper to kind of whittle away. Now, here's the interesting thing. So Viper's coming back, two less cylinders. It's not going to be powered by a V8. It's going to be, by a V10. It's going to be powered by a V8. Now, the big question is, what V8 is it going to be? Dodge does have a couple options that they could do. They are thinking about a 6.2 liter V8 that's supercharged. They also have a motor that's called the Banshee, which is a 7 liter V8. Both of these are being designed for that Dodge pickup truck, the Ram Rebel. So still some mystery exactly on what particular V8 it's going to be. Dodge is saying that there's going to be options between 550 horsepower and up past 700 horsepower. So there's going to be some choice there for the buyer. My question is, how are the Viper enthusiasts going to accept it? If you go back to 1998, Porsche did something that was unthinkable. They stopped making air-cooled Porsche 911s. I remember the Porsche faithful were pissed off. They didn't think that Porsche 911 should be water-cooled. Eventually, they got over it, and now we have Porsche 911s that are more powerful than any air-cooled 911 could ever be. But there was that period of time, and if you go back to those, 99, 2000, 2001 Porsche 911s, they're not really the most beloved, and you can actually get them for a pretty reasonable price because of that. Another comparison, I don't know if you're into motorcycles, but Harley Davidson did something in 2002. They came out with the V-Rod. It was totally against the norm. It was water cooled, it had overhead valves, great performer, but yet, even to this day, there are many Harley Davidson faithful that do not accept that motor as a true Harley Davidson. It doesn't have the same sound. It'll outperform any Harley Davidson motor before it or after it when it comes to the pushrod design. So the enthusiasts loved it so much. I mean, Dodge Viper enthusiasts are so amazing that they actually, many of them, crowdfunded to get two Dodge Vipers over to the Nürburgring its final year, 2017, to try to break the record, which they got pretty damn close considering it was not a factory backed effort whatsoever. It was shoestring budget. I mean, it was pretty amazing that there were actually other manufacturers that donated their time on the track to allow them to try to break the record. So we will see. Now, supposedly, we might see a version of it, concept, something like that, at that North American Auto Show in 2019. Because remember, 1989, 2019, I see a connection there possibly. You let me know what you think about this. Leave a comment in the comment section. Do you think this is absurd that they are going to bring back the Dodge Viper with a V8? Is there anything in particular you want to see on Raity's Rides? Leave it in that comment section. Guys, thank you for subscribing. Those of you who have subscribed, I appreciate it. If you have not hit that subscribe button, go ahead, hit it. I got a great variety for everyone, a little bit of something. If you haven't checked out my Instagram page or my Facebook or my Twitter, check those out. I have all original content all the time. And like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.